Hello, coders. It's great to see you all. Today we're going to be working through some interesting stuff. So last night I created a resource API. I'll talk about what that means in just a second. But today it's going to be full of Symfony, full of doctrine, and perhaps potentially we're going to be looking at some GraphQL as well. I've done an awful lot of work in the last, say, few evenings on this this web site that we're building, the howtocodewell.net site. I've got the courses kind of sorted and the tutorials. I'll demonstrate that as well. Plus, there's some other work involved with the styling, and there's another page that I've created as well. So I'll show you that, and then I will try and attempt to get this resource API done. I scrambled to get it running last night. Hello, Tyrannid. Thank you for joining. Do appreciate it. My voice is a little bit croaky this morning. So let's get cracking. I'll see if I can get this going. Always starts with a bit of elevator music. Okay. All right. So let's get into the code. Site can't be reached. That's not good, is it? So, okay. What I've done is I've created a resource API, and I should really explain what that means first before I go off on a tangent. So, the resource API. This is the current website, and the resource API is an API that will replace the shop, because the shop here, if I click on that, these are, forget the ad, there's going to be no ads in this one. So the resource API is a collection of resources that I've put together over the years of various books. So MySQL books that I've used in the past, books that have been recommended to me, books that have really helped me in my career, and I've broken them down by PHP. We've got some Python here, so I own a lot of these, or I have done in my past. They've changed the icon of that Flask. I've got the old one or the new one, and then we've got CSS, we've got some Docker, the Linux stuff, which I was using when I was doing my LPIC. I have these study guides, and essentially it is. I was considering calling it a quote-unquote shop in the new world, but then I thought, well, hang on a minute. You're not actually buying anything. These are links to go to places to then to buy them off of somewhere else, right? So some of these are Manning, and some of these are Amazon, and some of these are, I think that's off to Apress. So it's not really technically a shop, and there's no need to go all full blown with a shop, to be honest. Mr. Matt. I had Matt on the show, on the podcast, not so long ago. So anyway, so it's a way of holding all of this information, all the images, all the text, all the links, all of that stuff, and the association that it is. These are PHP and these are books. So that's what we're going to do. And I started building it last night. So here we can see that we've run a script that will create the table category, because I'm thinking that the category here would be a book. I should say, before I get into this, the resources at the moment are all hard-coded. So that's what we're moving away from. Okay, so we're going to look at this as a category is a book, and the tags are going to be the tags of, say, PHP, Python, HTML, all that stuff. So in the GraphQL, I'll be looking for books with a tag of PHP, that kind of stuff. But we're not even there yet. I haven't even done anything apart from create category. and we've also got a script in here which is src entity. That's the category here. So there's only that entity. So we'll be building more entities today, but we've got a category fixture of book. Okay, so we'll do another one for tag, and we'll have tags. But you can see that the JSON API has been built here to get the categories down. So the first thing I need to do, because I've literally just pulled this code down, is actually to get it to work. It works okay on the laptop, not here. But also what I would like to do is just go through the things that I've done anyway, apart from this. This was like something I scribbled together late last night as I was watching telly. So what I'm going to do is, we're in the resource API at the moment, and we're just going to bring up a new I'm going to have to bring up a new container. Let's not do it. Let's do it in horizontal mode. Let's go into... No, I think it's in system. Is it in system? Gateway. There we go. I'm going to... So what I've done in the gateway is I've created a new reverse proxy. So this location resources is going to /resources, and this courses is going to /courses. So we now have two separate containers, microservices, I suppose you could kind of class them as. That one is dealing with the courses, one is dealing with the resources. Both have separate databases. Okay, so I'm going to do a Docker. I need to do a Docker down, I think. Let me think. Docker, because what I need to do is restart that Nginx. Docker ps-a. Okay, so you can see that we've got the resources container for the database, for the actual web server, for the gateway, for the course database, and for the course web server. So what I need to do is take this down and refresh this rule. So I need to do Docker Docker down. No, I don't. I need to do a Docker. First of all, let's just make sure I'm not. Let's do a cat of Docker compose. Let's just remind myself what this looks like. Yeah, it's only got that one service. That's fine. So I'll do a Docker compose down off of this. I could just do a restart, I guess, but whatever. This is going to complain because this is saying that there's more than one container that is requiring the network. That's fine. Let's do an up-d to bring this all up, and hopefully, fingers crossed, yeah, that's running. And if I did Docker, Docker ps-a, they're all good. Go over to the, we should be able to check it with Postman. So I did this morning and it didn't work. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. There we go. We have our API. Boom. So, there we go. It just returns a book. This is running off of the categories API endpoint. And if I looked at the courses API endpoint to get courses on this, send, that should hopefully target the other container. Fingers crossed. And we get the courses back. Brilliant. Wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so that's the back end wired up, I hope. Let's take a look at the front end. So I'm going to just bring from here, I'm going to create a new, not there. There we go. And we're just going to go into portal. Like that. Now, I probably am going to need to, because I haven't used this in a while, I'm probably going to need to create another. This is where it gets complicated because you can see all the moving parts. I'm going to have to create a new. I'm going to have to rebuild the courses, I think. So I'm going to, because I've fixed a bunch of issues with the data. So, well, I haven't added any. I've just fixed issues with the data. I'm going to go into the system course API, and I'm also going to do a Docker. Well, let's do a reverse search of bash. And this is, I believe, course API. I could, of course, just use Docker Compose. Course API, Course API, they kind of all follow the same extension. Oh, no, they don't. There we go. This one is slightly different. So let's remove that. That's the container name. I should really just call them thing. There we go. Okay, and then at this point, I'm going to do a... Now, have I done an up on this? I can't remember. Let's go and have a look at the project. Too many things, man. Too many moving parts. Git repository pull. I think I've done it. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so I should just be able to run bin db update. And it will do this usual thing, drop the database, create the database, and then it will add the migrations, and then it will run the fixtures, and that's all passed. Wonderful. So down here, I now should be able to do Gatsby develop. Oh, what's going on here? Let's come out of that. Let's do a Gatsby clean first, rather than I have changed a lot. So let's just do a Gatsby clean. This will remove the deleting successfully. Has that deleted it? Let's have a look. Because that's in error now, so that's not. So there should be. Yeah, okay, that's weird that that's an error. That's saying that there's an update available, but then we have an error. Let me just run clean again. There we go. Okay, odd. So then let's do a develop. Fingers crossed this is all going to work, hopefully. So that's now creating a .cache folder here. Which is ignored, and also there should be a public folder that's being developed too. So, okay, we do have an error. We're going to have to fix that, unfortunately. Let's bring this over there so I can see it a little bit better. Cannot query field or how to code well course on type GraphQL. Oh, that's a shame. Cannot read property of map. Oh dear. Oh dear. I can literally say that this was working on... is this because of that, I wonder? Yes, it probably is. Let's do... I think what I've done... Yeah, I think what I've done is I haven't updated it properly. Sorry. Bear with me a minute whilst I try and screw around with that. I reckon there's one more commit that's left to pull. Git pull. See, I thought I did all of this before the stream, but I think there's one more for the portfolio, for the portal. Come on. Yes, find me one. And that was... Got too excited then. Let's have a look. Yes, that's on the node. Let's do a diff. Yes, it is. It's the difference between the path, because I have changed the way the gateway works. Okay, right. Let's do a clean again. Awesome. Let's do a develop. Let's do a develop of that and build it. Fingers crossed this time that this all works. This is the problem. When you've now got multiple things relying on things, it gets a little bit complicated. Once it all works in harmony, it's fantastic. But see, this all ran through fine. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we're going to go over to Chrome here. We're going to open this up. We're going to refresh the page. Okay, boom. Okay, so we've got our courses, and we've got so I haven't added any courses. I've fixed the courses. If we clicked on the Docker one, this is the change that I've made here. So we now have the YouTube video of this. We also have up here on the right hand side, we've got the title of the current video, and we've got a link to the next one. If I clicked on here, there is a problem there, because on my screen, on my laptop...
Hello, coders.
Hello, Hogatu. Thank you very much. Hello, hello. Woo, hello. On my laptop, I'm gonna have to fix this. On my laptop, the arrow was over here, so I think there's a problem with the width going on. But the idea is that you can click through all of these, and it's going to go through to the relevant tutorial, right? Douche, douche, and then when we get to persisting data, which is the last one, we go back to number 10. And then when we go to the first one, which is that one, we can't go back because there's nothing to go back to. So that's that. And of course, I've got this running off of the URL course and then the slug of the course, and I'm using the display order, so 5, rather than the slug of the tutorial, like I've done. So on here, for instance, if I go over to courses and go into this one, start course, if I was to click on one of these, right, you see we've got courses, Docker for beginners, and then we have this one here, which is the copy files from container. Now, the problem with that is that I may want to change the title of the tutorial later on, or I might want to change the order of the tutorials. So that's why I've decided to go with numbers, which means that I'm definitely going to need to have some mod rewrite rules to go through all of the existing URLs and point them at the relevant tutorials, and if there isn't a relevant tutorial, point them back to the course. So that's going to be fun to do, but I think that's a good decision to make, that this is only numeric. Of course, I've got this running off of the other ones as well. So if I go to course down here, if I go to the Linux Bash for Beginners course, then we have all of this as well, and I can go through these as before. And these are proper embedded, so I could press on that. That's going to play all of the bits and pieces. Yeah, so that's in line. That's looking better than the other one. I'll have to look into that. Again, as I've mentioned in every single stream when I'm doing this project, I am not a web designer. So I've just made all of this up. Okay, so that was one thing I've done. And so in order to do this in Gatsby, what I've needed to do is create a mechanism that not only creates the pages for the courses, but also creates the sub-pages for the tutorials. So that's all done, which is cool. Another thing I've done is I've created the live page. So the MVP, the minimum viable product I have now decided upon, is to get the website, the new website, to do exactly exactly the same thing, the bare minimum things that the existing site does, which means that yes, we're going to be dealing with user logins and stuff like that, but I think the user the user management, log in and log out, because the existing site doesn't do that, I think I'm okay to leave it for the next phase. The thing is that the more I add to the site, the bigger the big bang on the first initial release. So yeah, so there are things that I'm going to drop. For example, the views I'm going to drop. I might drop the description. I don't know. I'm not too sure. It does look a bit rubbish just there as a single line. I do need to address the copy. Anyway, so the live doesn't, well, kind of works, sort of, here. It's not that great. Let's just pause it. But this is me. Hello. I've done that as well for the new site. So if I go to /live, check this out. This is now the live page. So this means that now whenever I go live, it's a bit laggy, as you can see. This is going to be weird. This is going to be me looking at me in the live thing. So this is this means that I can say when I'm going live, I can do do a tweet which says, find me at howtocodewell.net/live, and there we go. Look, this is like live in live in live. Nuts. All right. So that's that done. So what I want to do today is work through these resources, which is in the shop section here. And I'll change that to be called resources rather than shop, I think. Peterception. Yeah, crazy. Just imagine if I had the sound on. That'd be nuts. Just imagine if I had the sound on. Just imagine if I had the sound on. Just imagine if I had the sound on. Yeah, it'd be in a bit of an echo like that. Okay, so as you can see, I've done absolutely zero squat to really with this API. I literally built it in a few hours last night whilst watching. We were watching The Stranger, which is great. Yeah, a really good program. A bit messed up, to be honest, but good. So, where am I? Resource API. This is what I need. Okay, so today we're going to be playing around with the entities, I think, and we'll be building the various bits and pieces for the resources to be able to be pulled out of the database. So we're going to be using tags, and we're going to be using an entity called resource. Because if I go over to here, this, in my opinion, like that book is a resource. That resource is going to be tagged with PHP, and that PHP tag is going to be within the category or book, or the resource, I should say. So we're going to create another entity. We're going to call this tag, T-A-G. In fact, let's do this because I'm lazy. This is how I was doing it last night. Let's do it through the command line. Why not? Now I need to remember which one is the resource, and this one here is the resource. So let's, if you haven't seen the PHP Symfony console before, check this out. This is so good. Let's do bin console. So good. Okay, you can see all these make things in here. So what we want to do is do bin console make colon entity. Boom. And we're going to call this tag, TAG. Now it's going to ask for a property. So I want a name. It's going to be a string. It's going to have 255 as a length. Can this be nullable? No. Can this be nullable in the... No, it can't. Okay, now it's asking me for another property, and if there isn't a property, press enter. Well, I'm going to just press enter at this stage. Done. So that's made that entity, and if I open up the code, we can see it here. One thing I'm going to do is change the IDs, because at the moment the IDs are auto-incremented. It's a generated value. And I want to use the UUID from Ramsey. So we're going to copy that, bung it in here. Yes, and we're going to remove that, and we're just going to press Control N, and we're going to do getters and setters, fluent setters. Press OK. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's the tag. I mean, yes, there could be more to this, like the description of a tag and an image of a tag and all of this stuff. It could have the PHP logo maybe, but not for the MVP. This is all I need for the MVP. So that's in. Let's go and play around with the migration. So can you see here we've got make migration? Well, we can do make migration here. I can't spell it, even though it's right in front of me. Make migration. And that should make the migration for that new entity, which it has done. Boom. So let's go to here. Let's just check that out. That should be in migrations. There we go. So we can see that it's created the table tag, not null. Put in a bit of a comment there for the UUID. Put in a null, a name which can't be null, and the primary key is ID. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. What I'm also going to do is create a fixture. And we're going to call this tag. Tag fixture. Just going to copy the category fixture here. Tag fixtures. This is going to be the tags. So let's have a look at the tags, what we've got. We've got PHP, Python, HTML, CSS, MySQL, Docker, AWS, and Linux. So did you remember all that? PHP. Whoops, create a new one. I mean, this could just be, just a single array rather than a nested array. But like I said, we might be playing around with descriptions and other things. So best keep it like this for the minute. I can't remember what was the third one. Third one was HTML. The next one was CSS. After CSS, we had MySQL. I'm going to capitalize these things. Actually, no, I'll allow the... thinking. I might have to capitalize them. So, let's do it. PHP, Python, HTML, CSS. That one was MySQL. Capital MySQL, like so. Next one. MySQL, Docker, AWS, and Linux. Sweet. Okay, so that's in. We're going to instantiate a new tag. So we're going to do tag is equal to new tag, like so. That's the new tag entity. We're going to set the name, and we're going to persist it. Then we're going to flush it. Okay, so that's that. So we've just created the migration file. What we need to do is run that migration file, and we need to run through the fixtures. Now, I have a little handy script here called bin db update, which is the copy of the update for the courses API. Get my words out. So it's going to drop the database, create the database, run the migrations, run the load, run the fixtures. So we'll run that. So it's db, no it's not, it's bin, sorry, bin db update. So it's dropping the database, creating the database, running the migrations now, there's two. Loading the fixtures so we can see that the tag fixture has gone in. Wonderful. So let's see. Let's do an exit of this. Well, no, let's not do an exit. I don't want to close this down. Let's bring up another. How many terminal windows can Pete have? Let's do a reverse search of MySQL. Let's change this to be resource API. Resource DB. Ah, no, that didn't work, did it? Docker PS-A. What's it called? It's in one of these things, one of these containers. Where are the names? Where are the container names? There we are. Not that one, this one. I need to write a script or something that will pull out the relevant bits and pieces for me. Okay. Okay, show tables. Okay, great. Let's do a select all from tag. Let's see what's going in. Whoa. Select all from. Pete, from. Select all from. There we go. Good stuff. Let's create an API for that. So back up here. Let's do, if I showed you, I don't know if I've showed you this, but if we do bin console, I'm using a plugin, well, it's a bundle, I suppose you would call it, for the API, and it comes with this handy make API tool. If I was to go to here, I will show you. if I go to composer.json, it is in, where are we? Where has it gone? Oh yeah, JSON API bundle. That is a super awesome JSON API bundle. And what you can do is once you have the entities in play, you can do bin console make API, and then you choose the entity in which you want to make the API around. Yeah, this is cheating, man. This is cheating. This is, you know, why not? I've been outed. So here we do, so we choose the API that we want. We weren't going to choose tag. Create that. It's created all of that. It's created all the Postman files, the Swagger files, all the bits and pieces. And if I go to JSON API down here, document, we can see that we have the tag here. All good. So let's go over to Postman and let's create a new collection. We're going to create a new collection called, I could just import the API, the Postman API, the JSON, but you know, I got to do some work, right? So let's do resources, API, and its tag. And we're going to pretty much copy that, put that into there. Well, actually, what I could do is duplicate it, couldn't I? Let's duplicate that. Change. No, it's not courses, is it? Silly me. Sorry. I'm getting now confused. It's that one. Categories. That needs to go in this one, which is the copy. We will change that to be get all resources. Sorry, get all tags. Let's save that. Change that to be tags. Hit send. Come on, hopefully the gateway knows what it's doing. Yeah! There we go, we've got the tags. Pete's just created an API in 37 minutes. Yeah. So let's create the rest of the stuff. So we've got the tag and we've got the category. We now need to create the resource that connects the two. So we're going to do what we did before, but we're going to sort of hack around a little bit because we're now talking about we're using relationships between the entities. You can't really do that very well in the command line. I don't think, anyway. I haven't really tried. So we're going to do make entity again. This is going to be called resource, and we're going to have we'll give it a name, and which is a string. That's fine. No, it can't be nullable, and we're going to add probably a URL. That's all good. And we also need an image URL as well. So I'm going to do image, and I don't image path like that. I think. Oh, maybe image URI. Oh, I'll change them in a minute. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. And that's it. We'll stop at that point. That should now create us our entity. our resource. Again, I'm going to change this up to be a UUID rather than a you know, a normal integer. Let's just get rid of the U, press Control N, getters and setters, fluent setters, boom, there we go. What's wrong there? Does not meet the declared self. Ah. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's get the relationships in. So we've got a resource, and that resource is going to have, I guess we could say one or more tags, because there could be a book that is both on PHP and MySQL. I keep mispronouncing that. So yeah, it's going to be many, one to many on that relationship. But I think there's going to be one category, so many to one. Wow. Okay. I need to remember how to do this. Let's take a look. What I usually do at this point is I usually look at an example that I've done before. So this is the courses thing, the courses API. And if we had a think about how the course is set up, we have a course here, and that has a it has many courses, has one image. Excuse me. So this is how we would set up the category. So many resources have one category. So we'll copy that, and we'll go over to the resource API here. We'll grab, put this in down here somewhere. This is going to be category. Category. Have I not produced that yet? Why isn't that coming? Oh, that's fine. So this is category, and then we have, if we go over to the other project, the course API, where we have image here. Okay, so we're pulling in, we're just doing a set and then a get. That's fine, because it's only just the one. That's okay, that's good. Okay, fine. But we also have the tutorials. Now the tutorials are going to be a bit like the tags, where you have, I think, let's find them. Duration tutorials, here we go. So we have one course to many blah, 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 blah. tags. So in this case, it's going to be one resource to many tags. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. So, and I think in the constructor we also need to set this as an array collection. There we go. All right. So I've lost it now. Where did that go? Where did it go? Tutorials. That's what I'm looking for. Tutorials. Yikes. Up. There we go. Tutorials. Grab that. That's what I wanted. Put that into the resource API under here. So this is going to be tag. It's going to be mapped by, you've got to map it back to where it's from. So this is going to be resource. Well, you don't have to. It helps if you spell things right, especially when you're wiring up databases. That's an array collection. This is going to be tags. So here in constructor, which I haven't got yet, so I have to add it in, public function, construct. This is going to be this tags is equal to new array collection. Sweet. Okay, so that's good. And then we go over to the course API again. We check how that's been set. Let's just grab that a minute. Copy that. Oh yeah. So get tutorials is a collection or a tutorial. That's fine. And then set tutorials, we pass in the clear and then for each. So it is a bit like that. And then add tutorial. Okay, yeah, there is a little bit more here. So it's these that I need to grab and remove tutorial. Let's grab that too. So at this point, I can merrily go and create the ID for the things for this. So I can do getters and setters. That's good. But when it gets to setting the tags, have I just...
Hello, coders.
Hang on a minute. What have I done? Set image path, that's fine. Where is the tags? What have I done? What have I done? Where's tags? Set tags. Did I not select it on the thing? No, I didn't. There we go. Hello, MK Wedo. McWedo, thank you very much for following. Hello. Sorry I didn't say hello before. I was engrossed in Entity World. Hello. Thank you for following. I do appreciate that. I think on my clipboard I still have the tutorials, so I'm going to replace this with the tutorials, and we're going to change tutorials to tag. So this is add a tag, T-A-G, to the resource. This is going to be tag, and this is going to be a tag, and surprise, surprise, this is also going to be a tag, and lo and behold, that's going to be a tag, and also this is going to be a resource. And so that's going to be self. And then this is going to be, where's my music gone? That's going to be tag, that's going to be tag. So what we're doing here is we're saying get tags, T-A-G, which I haven't built yet. Let's do that first, shall we? Down here. Is it get tags? That's set tags. Add tutorial. I'm doing too many things at once. Here, get tags, sorry. Get tags. This is a collection. This is going to return tags. This is going to be a collection of tags. There we go. Right, so down in the add world here, what we're doing is getting the tags, and we're checking whether it contains... That should be get tags with an S. Get tags. There we go. So we're getting the tags. We're checking if it contains the tag that we've passed in. If it's false, if it doesn't, then we do another get tags here, and then we do an add of the tag. And then what we do is we set the tutorial, or in this case the tag, to the resource. So I'm not sure if I need to do that. Let's comment that out. I'll have a think. Let's delete that. Actually, I'll have to have a think on that one. So here, setting of the tags. This is setting all of the tags if I was to pass in an array of tags. So set tags. I'll check my music in a minute. Just bear with me whilst I do this. So we've got tags, we've got tags, we've got tags, all the things. Change the course to resource. That's self. Change, so that's tags clear, so it's going to clear down all of the tags, it's going to remove them. It's then going to loop through the tags that we've supplied, and then it's going to then add the tag. So that's going to now go into this one, which is add tag, passing in, the tag that contains, there we go. Okay, so is that done now? No, I need to do remove tag. Of course I do. Tag. Why do I not just do a find and replace? Uh, oh well, never mind. It's nearly done. It's nearly done. This is self. This, oops, LF. This is resource. Sorry, I will get the music on again. Bear with. Tutorials contains tag. This is tags. Tags. Right, good. Oh, no, what's going on here? This needs to be tag as well. Okay, so we should have the remove tag. We have the add tag. Why is that not an undefined class exception? Have I not put this into the... There we go. Good. That should now be in the imports. Which it is. Good. So we've got set tags. We're clearing down the tags. We're then looping over the tags, and we're adding a tag for each one. For each tag. Pete, come on. Copy and pasting errors. Okay, so this gets the tags, all the tags, and then this adds the tags. This removes the tag from the resource. To the resource. That's all of that. Awesome. Okay, good. And then that's the set of the category. That's the get of the category. That's the image path. Do I want to call it image path? Maybe not. Let's leave it as is. It's just semantics at this time. Okay. What are these warnings? These unused element get image path. Oh, well, I haven't used them yet, so that's why. There's a warning there. That needs to be self, I think. I should run PHP stan on this. That's fine. That's okay. Fine. All right. Good. They're just complaining that it can't find it in the project, that these haven't actually been used yet. But we'll work on that in a minute. Bear with me whilst I see if I can get the tunes going. Where did I put that? Not in that tab, is it? I'll have a little drink now. So, okay, we haven't ran the migrations yet. So, or we haven't created the migration for this yet. So let's do that. And then what I'll do is I'll assess the SQL to make sure it marries up correctly. There's a potential issue that I can think of, but we'll see if it arises. Let's do a migration. Yeah, there is a potential issue, isn't there? It's the tags themselves, because what I'm doing here is I'm saying that the difference, the obvious difference here for the tags is the relationship between the tags and the tutorials. At the moment here I'm saying that this is a one-to-many. That's not strictly true, because you could have many books having many tags, right? Now I don't want to say it's a many-to-many, because that's going down a rabbit hole, but this is inferring that there needs to be a resource ID based on the tag, I think. What I need really essentially is a join table for this to work. So let me think. It's still going to be an array collection, but okay, let's just run it and see what happens. I think this is going to not be happy, or at least not come out with the right SQL that I want. But let's have a little go, shall we? Okay, so that's created the migration. Let's go and have a little nosy and see what that does. Okay, so create table resource. fine. That's the UUID. We've got the category ID. That's good. URL, image path. Category ID is the index. So we haven't... That's the constraint of the category ID. What we haven't done is we haven't done anything around the tags. So I think what I need to do is I think I need a linker table. Let me, if I was to have a look at the documentation, if I go to here, if we go to doctrine annotations, doctrine relationships, association mapping. So here we go. We got one to many, many to one, one to one. So many instances of the current entity refer to one instance of the referred entity. That's not true because we can have more than one. We can have a book in more than one tag. Many to one unidirect. No, that's not it either. That's not. It's not one to one. It's not one to one. That's fine. No, no, no. One to many. So one book has many. Could it be that? Let's have a look at this. So we've got a product. One product has many features. So in this case, one book has many features. One book has many tags. This is the inverse side. So we have one to many, feature mapped by product. Let's have a look at the SQL that's produced here. So we have a product ID, and a feature product ID. That's not true because there could be more than one. If this was tags, that wouldn't be working because we would have more than one. So I really do think we need a join table. One to many with a join table. So we have phone numbers and we have a phone number. So let's have a look at this. So we've got a user table. Have we got a user table in here? Yeah, user table. Users' phone numbers. So in this case, in my case, it would be resource to tags, resources tags. And we would have the resource ID and then we would have the tag ID. That would work, wouldn't it? And then we would have the tag here. I think that's good. So let's have a look at the phone number. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Okay, so we have a many users to many have many phone numbers. So this is a many to many. Ugh, I'm going down that rabbit hole. All right, before I consider this, let's scroll down a little bit more. Many to many unidirectional. Okay, so that's users and groups. Many to many bidirectional. Owning and inversing side of a many to many association. Many to many self-referencing. We don't need to do that. Mapping defaults. Collections. Definitely not self-referencing. Bidirectional. Here's an example of a relationship as above, except this one is bidirectional. Why are many-to-many associations less common? Because frequently you want to associate additional attributes in the association, in which case you introduce an association class. Consequently, the direct many-to-many association disappears and is replaced by a one-to-many, many-to-one. Okay. I think we're going to try this. I think we're going to try the phone numbers. All right. We'll give it a blast. We'll see what happens. So the phone number, the user in this sense is the resource, okay? And the resource is going to have phone number tags, which we've got. So I need to change. We will drop this for the minute. And we will go to resource up here. And we'll change where we've got tags here. That is now many resources have many tags. So it's a many to many relationship. Put these imports in. So the target entity here is tag. And we have users, so this is going to be resources tags. Then down here, we'll add that import. This is going to be resource ID, which is the reference column of ID. That's fine. The join table is going to be tag ID. Referenced is ID, unique is true. And it's going to be an array collection, so we'll put this in there as well. Okay. Slightly more complicated than I wanted, but okay, we're going to need to drop the database. No, actually, darn it. Hang on a minute. Let's go and refactor. I've gone and deleted that file, haven't I? That's not good. Show history. Let's revert that back. Bring it back from the dead, that file. Okay, let's run the migrations again. Once this is all cleared up, what I'll do is I'll drop the database, and then I'll run the migrations to get a nice clean migration of all of the changes, I think. Waveways, have you any idea how I can get the someone Twitter follower of a someone's Twitter follower number in JavaScript? Yeah, I think you need to get the Twitter API. I think you need to get the Twitter API to do that. So you'll need to have an API. I think you'll need to create an app in the sense of a Twitter app. So you'll need to register with the development. Let me just have a little look. I'm sure I can. I've done a similar thing before, not getting people's follower numbers, but getting my my account bits and pieces. Let me just bear with me just a second, Waveways. I'll see if I can find you something. Twitter API documentation. Right, so take a look at this, if you can. It might be in there. I can't promise you anything, but that might be a good place to start. Take a look at accounts and users section in there. That might help. All right. Okay, let's see if we can do a rebuild of them. Let's run migrations again. Okay, what else have we got now? Okay, whoa, lots of changes. Okay, create table resource tags. So we got the image path here. We've got the category ID there. That's good. That's looking good. So we've got create table resource tags. We've got the resource ID there. And we've got the tag ID as well. Why is the tag ID a char36? It should be a UUID. Oh no, it is a UUID, sorry. It is a char36, what am I talking about? Silly me. And then these are unique. Okay, so far so good, I think. I think what I'll do is, because I've probably confused the system now, because that's saying create resource. I think I might be able to get away with deleting that because I haven't actually ran that yet. So I might be able to get rid of that migration and then run the migrations. And I'll take a look at the database. I'll take a look at the physical stuff. So we're going to do, if we go and have a look at this, it is this one. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual database, which is in this tab. So we do show tables. If we did select, or sorry, just show create table resource. That's looking good. Resource, got the ID, got the category ID, name and URL and image path. In the resource, is it resources tags? Yeah, resources tags. Okay, so this is the thing that we've just done. We've got resource ID, we've got tag ID. That's good. The primary key is a composite key between both resource ID and tag ID, which is okay. We then have the unique keys. Well, that's unique at least, and then we have the resource ID there. Okay. I'm not sure if that needs to be unique. That's a bit weird. I don't think it needs to be unique. That's not what I'm... Let's just create a fixture and see. I think this is going to break, but we'll create a fixture. So data, we'll create a new one in here called resource. Okay, so this is our resource fixtures. Let's just remove that for a minute. So we've got the name of this resource. Let's just use one of these, for instance. So this is a PHP programming book, PHP in action. PHP in action. We're going to give it the image path. And I'm just going to put in a test string for now, just so I've got something to work with. And then here with the URL, we're just going to do a test. HTTPS howtocodewell.net/courses. Why not? This isn't going to work at the moment, so I just want something to play with. Tags is going to be an array. Whoops, we need to put that in there. So this is PHP as the tag. Okay, so we'll do for each this data as data. We'll create a new resource. So we'll do new. Sorry, what am I doing? Resource here is equal to a new resource instance, and then we'll set the name to the name. We'll set the image path. We'll set the URL. Sorry, what am I doing? URL, set URL to URL. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to get the tags. So this is where we have an order of things. So we need to add the tags before we can add the resource and also add the category. So with the category on the resource, let's just put that in as well. Category. This is going to be books. So what we do here is we create a reference. So when Doctrine adds it into the ORM, it builds up a reference that we can refer to. So let's say, for example, if I showed you the course API job, if I go to the course fixture here, scroll, we have these references like this. We also need to use the dependencies. I'll just add the references in now. So in resource API, in it would be in category. Well, it'll be both category and tag. So we do it at this point. So add reference. This is going to be category, and we're just going to use the name. So this is category get name. Passing in the entity that you want to use as a resource. Now this means on the opposite side of this, on resource itself, we can then fetch that. So as long as if I just put that down there for reference, as long as this matches up, so as long as that's category underscore and then the name of the category, and I think I've set this to be books with an S. That should now fetch that out of there. So we should be able to do this resource set category, passing in this get reference, and it is category, and then this would be books. Okay, we need to do the same thing for the tag. So with tags, this would be tag underscore PHP, and it would be uppercased, I believe, if we were to do it right. So again, we go to the category fixtures, grab that as a reference in here. We do tag, and it's PHP, and that is the entity that we want to add as a resource. Okay, good. So that's that. So in here, what we can do is we can do a for each data tags as tag, and we can do resource add tag get reference tag PHP. Oh no, actually it's just that, isn't it? It's off of date tag tag name. Is it tag name or is it just tag? Hang on a minute. No, that should be fine. Good. Okay. So in theory, what we do definitely need to do is we definitely need to do the orders. So on here, we set the dependencies. Now I think I need to implement a dependent fixture interface. Let me just grab that. There we go, dependent fixture interface. So I'll just copy for speed's sake. I'll copy this and I'll just change it up to be what I need. So you then list the dependencies that have to run before this fixture runs. So in this case, we need to get the category fixtures to run, and we also need the tag fixtures as well. like so. Okay. We don't need to have any dependencies for the categories, nor do we have any dependencies for the fixtures. So let's see if we can get this to run. This will be interesting if I can. I think there's a problem with the with this, because I think what I need to do is it's a different ball game now, isn't it? Because we're actually running off of a join table. So I'm not sure if this is actually going to do anything. Probably not. Let's just run it and see. So to run the fixtures, I need to drop the database. So we should be able to hopefully run, if I can get the right tab. It was that one. Let's just get rid of some of these things. We don't need that. What's that doing? That's the course. We don't need the course. Get rid of that. This is the database, and this is the... What's that? Okay, so that is the database in here. That's the GraphQL. That's the database. There we go. This is the tab. This is what I need to use. Okay, so we're going to do bin db update. Fingers crossed. It's thinking about it. Dropping it. Creating it. Building it. Purging it. Failed. So reference to tag PHP does not exist. So let me see. Tag PHP. This is this thing here. Tag PHP. Let's check this. It's tag underscore. There we go. Let's do it again. Okay, that's gone through. Let's check the... let's bring that up. Let's bring that down. It's a bit of a pain because usually I'm used to many screens rather than one little small thing that I can put many terminals on. So let's do a select all from resource. Okay, so that's the resource that's gone in. We have the ID, we have the category ID, we've got the name, we've got the URL and the image path. Let's see if I've actually wired it up to the resources tags. Ooh, hello. That did work. Okay, fine. But because it's unique, I'm not sure if I can add another one. Let's see. So in the tag fixtures, in the resource fixtures here, let's see if we can add another PHP book, which is beginning PHP and MySQL. See, this is both PHP and MySQL now. So let's grab that, paste it in there. So this is, let's get the title right, beginning PHP and MySQL. Spell it, come on. BINNING. Beginning PHP and MySQL. We'll leave this as is. I will go through and fix all of these when I get to this. Is that beer I'm drinking? I wish it was. This is orange juice. Or orange squash. I really wish it was beer, but it's 18 minutes past 8 in the morning. What do you think I am, man? You think I've got a problem? So tag PHP, and we're going to put in a tag of MySQL. Let's see if we can get that to run. MySQL. Tell you what, if it was beer, then I'll probably be able to be writing code more efficiently and more creatively. Breakfast of champions. All right, let's rebuild all the things. Come on. Yes, we have the error here. Duplicate entry. This is because I think there's a unique constraint that I've added to the to up here. Unique is true. I don't think that's wise. That wasn't a wise move, Pete. It was not a wise move. So I'm going to run the migrations again after I've removed that. So let's see if we can make migration. Let's then, that should now remove that alter table drop index. So let's run that again. Now, as I mentioned, once I have all of this wired up, I will be deleting all the migrations and then running one single migration that creates the tables as they are for the first acceptable release. So that's gone through, which now means that if I did a select tags, we should have 2 tags in here, and you can see that there is one tag that is the same, one ID which is the same. So let's do a select all from resource. We have the beginning PHP and MySQL and PHP in action, and if we did the select from tag, awesome. Okay, looking good. Let's just do the PHP web services one as well. Just so I have 3 to play with. It's 8:21 at the moment. That's okay. We've got time. It's good. Because what I want to do with, of course, is actually get off of PHP and start playing with some JavaScript. So let's add another one. What is it called? This is PHP Web Services. Two words. It's a book. It's PHP. It doesn't have any MySQL. It's all good. Let's run it again. Right, after this I'm going to build the API. And then we'll play around with Postman and see if I can get this all coming back nice and nice. So let's run, let's just double check all of my workings. So let's do select all from resource. We've got 3 in there now. If we do select all from tag, that's it. And select all from resources tags. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's now work on the API. Go wrong tab. There we go. This one here. So it is now bin console make API. It's going to ask me what entity I want to run it from. I love the way that they put in random names here. Tiny elephant. Now, can I just see? Let's close that down. Let's run that again. Is it still tiny elephant? No, it's fierce elephant. Oh, this one's more angry. It's a tiny fierce elephant. So we're going to choose resource. There we go. And I love the way that it's highlighting an entity that it can use. So kudos to whoever created this. Press enter. Done. Let's go and have a look at Postman. So what I'm going to do is create a, so that's resource category. That's resource tag. We're going to create a new collection in here. We're going to call this resource API resource. That's cleverly named there, Pete. Well done. We will grab this. Well, actually, what we could do is just duplicate that. Bring that into the resource here. And then change this to be resource. Press send. Is it resource or resources? It's probably resources. Yeah, probably is resources, because you've got categories. Yeah, this is going to fail. Yeah, it's going to fail. So let's put that back into there. Resources. There we go. So that's all the resources. So let's save this. Save as get all. Put it into resources. Oh, hang on a minute. No. Is this the... I get confused. It's not that one, is it? Let's close that. Don't save that. It's this one, isn't it? It's the... I'm getting confused. Let's delete that. And let's get rid of that one. Can I just close all of them? Open up this one. Change that to be... There's that. Change that to be get all. Okay. So save and send. There we go. That's all the resources. We've got PHP in action. We can see that there is relationships here. So we have a relationship of the category and we've got a relationship of the tags. However, there's only one tag there. Let's have a look at the other one. Though that's fine because that's PHP in action. PHP and MySQL is a different story. That's also got that one is there. Where is the... Aha, here we go. Can you see that there's two tags there as the relationship? So this is using the JSON API specification, which I'm getting used to a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can... what I would like to do really is return the included bits. So I would like to have some included tags with this. So to do that, let's have a look at the course API, where I've changed the controller for, say, not the controller, the JSON API parts for the, I think it's for the course I've changed. That will be in the transformer. It's in course resource transformer, and where we've got that, so that's get attributes, and then here we have get relationships, and there should also be included relationships as well. So in the resource API, we need to do something a little similar. JSON API, we want to look into the transformers. We want to go to the resource transformer. So we've got the attributes. That's fine. It's this defaulted included relationships that we need to add. So we've got the relationships here, but this is the included bits. So what I need to do is, I can't remember from memory how I did that. It was in, you just pass them in as keys. Okay, fine. So let's see if we can deal with that. So that would be, did I say tutorials on this one? I can't remember. It was tutorials. So this would be category, and it would also be tags, I think, maybe. So that would be category and tags. So let's see if we can run this again. Okay, so that's the data here. We have the resources. We got the relationships here. That's good. There should be, here we go, included. So categories and tags. So what I need to do in the JSON, in the JavaScript, is I need to marry up, as I've done before, the relevant IDs to the relevant relationships. That's fine. I can do that. No probs. Happy with that. By the way, the stream's going to go on a little bit longer today, just because, just by probably half hour, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. Just because today's a nice day for me. I'm actually technically on my day off. Technically, so that's why I'm going to make it a little bit longer. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to grab a cup of tea though before I continue. What we're going to do now is we're going to move over to some GraphQL. So I will grab a cup of tea and come back and work through some GraphQL stuff. Bear with me whilst we need to create a Gatsby plugin for the GraphQL. So I'll do that after the stream, after I get my tea. So I'm going to grab some tea. Bear with me a second, and I will be back. Hello. So, Murphy's in the room, FYI. Murphy is in the room. I have my cup of tea, which is good. All good. Stream is still going on. So, although that seems to have died. Why is it that whenever I leave the stream to get a cup of tea and I come back, things start crashing? I swear this iMac is starting to creak. Right. I do apologize. Oh, Murphy, you are a funny boy. Right, so let's go and have a look at this. So we've got the categories now, we've got the tags, that's all gone in. Hunky-dory, it's all good, it's all fine, it's all working. We're now going to we're going to switch directions and go into the wonderful world of GraphQL. So what happens in the portal is, so this is Gatsby here. In order to produce or connect to an API, to an external resource, you need to create a plugin, which is very similar to this plugin for getting the courses down. And it'll go through all the bits and pieces. So this, where we're doing, is equal to tutorials or videos. This will be like categories and tags. This is the endpoint here. And also what you do to wire this up in the config, you have to specify, I think I've done it right at the bottom. Yeah, so don't worry about that. The plugin name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another plugin for the resources. So we're going to follow convention, and we're just going to have this as resource. I just want to send a message. Bear with me a minute. No worries. Your tea is on the side. Sorry, just sending a message to my wife. Okay, so how to code well resource. That's the name of the plugin. We're going to copy. We'll create a new file, and we call this the same as this. Actually, let's copy that and make sure it's all correct. We need to have the git ignore. Well, we don't have to, but we're going to copy the git ignores. It doesn't have anything in here, but what I'm thinking of is this could later on become a package that I install remotely, like an npm package. We definitely need to have these two files. The Gatsby node in here, and if this was going to be an npm, we need to do these two as well. Okay. So okay, let's have a little think about this. So this is going to be this is the API that gets changed. We need to change. We also need to consider the name of this as well in terms of GraphQL. Let's bring this down to the bare bones. We don't need that. We don't need. Or do we? This is tutorials, videos. It's a bit too coursey at the moment. That's going to be changed to resource. Let's see some common patterns. That's going to be calling the API endpoint. That's going to be resource sys, resources. That's going to be resources. That's fine. We can leave the page numbering in at the moment. Oh, okay. So, okay, that's just showing me that there's a duplication. Okay, no worries. Included is response included. We need that. However, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this for now. And this is for each resource. No data process resource. Pass that in is there. We don't have the videos or the tutorials at this present second. And then what we do is we process that resource, and then that becomes the node data, and we create the node. So at this point here, can't find declaration. I need to change the process. Sorry, that was Murphy barking. What's up, buddy? Why are you looking at me and barking? He's just laying down on the floor, just yapping. Come on, dude. You're all right. Okay, so this is the resource that we pass through. Don't have any of those yet. Not yet, anyway. So building for resource. Passing in the resource ID. We create the node. We've got to give the node an ID. So this is resource.id. This is now looking at the tutorials. We don't have that, so that can get removed. However, for each known tutorial as tutorial course, yeah, we don't need this stuff yet. Not yet, we will be later. Let's just get something in to work. And then what we do is we stringify that response. Whoops. And then we assign the node ID, we put it into the GraphQL type of how to code well resource, and then we create the digest content of resource. I think, fingers crossed, that might be pretty much it. Let's comment that out. I think, fingers crossed. Don't worry about these imports at the moment. Building for resource, ID of resource. So, if I now did a Gatsby build in this tab, and hopefully it will call the courses, and then it will call the resources, and fail. Cannot read property for each of undefined. So Gatsby plugin through an error. Okay, that's the course plugin. Why are we? Huh? Why is that? That's not right. Let me just see on JSON here. Ah, so that needs to be resource. Sorry. How to record resource API. That's all good things. Let's see if we can run that again. What's going on here? Did it fail? Yeah, it did. Here we go. Resource through an error for each of undefined. Okay. I just want to do an ls of plugins. and then go into Gatsby, plug in how to code well course. Okay, so we don't have the node thing in there. That's fine. So that's okay. So the error here is cannot read property for each of undefined. Fetch, then response. On line 54. This one here. Let me just compare that to this one. Let's tell you what, let's close all the tabs for a minute. Let's grab that one and grab that one and run them side by side. So this one is the resource and this one is the course. No, that is wrong. I need to put that in. That's resource, that's course now. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to get confused. There we go. So we've got resource on this side and course on this side. So what's going on here is that it's calling the API, doing a return, fetching the API URL, then doing a response, getting the JSON back, then doing a response. It's doing some fiddly bits and pieces here for the for mapping of the tutorials and the videos. We don't need to do any of that stuff. And then it's doing response.data for each resource. It's this that's got a problem. That's got a problem. So I'm wondering, am I calling the right thing? So if we scroll up to here, this is what it's calling. Resources. That doesn't really look right to me, does it? Let's grab that, put that into a blank Postman tab. No entity found for entity app resource. Yeah, I think that's wrong. If we had a look at the response, no, not that. No, don't want to copy it to clipboard. I want to see the raw. There must be a way of seeing. There was in the previous version of Postman a way of seeing the curl request. So that is resources. That is resources. Let's see if I can get this running without the fiddly filters. There's no need for that at this point anyway. So that should just be resources, which should be that. So let's run it again. It did work. That worked. That went through. Okay. So if we had a look at the GraphQL, we should now have. Can I make this a little bit bigger because it's tiny? We should now have how to code well resource, which we do. Woohoo! So that's now added to the GraphQL. We've got two. We've got how to code well resource, and we've got all how to code well resource. So what this is doing is it's going to return all of them. So if I go to edges and then node, look at the attributes of the name and press play, we should have PHP in action, beginning PHP and MySQL, and then PHP services. If I was to take a look at the relationships of the tags, we should see in data ID, we should see that this one has 2 tags, whereas this one has 1 and that has 1. So if we play on that one, yeah, so that's tags has 1, whereas this one has 2 because that's PHP and MySQL, and then that one has 1. So awesome. Now what I want to do is, so we can get rid of that for now, and we can close down those differences, that's fine. What I would like to do here is fiddle about with the actual response of this, because one of the problems that I faced on the last one is that everything is, because it's using the JSON API, everything's down in attributes, so it's another level in, which is a bit frustrating. So what I'm going to do here is sort of just build my own sort of response. So on process response, we pass in resource, process resource, passing in the resource here. What we're doing is we're stringifying the resource of the node content. But really what I could do is I could say, well, let's do attributes, you know, or actually no, that might get me into some hot water, I think. We don't need the filters here. This, by the way, is going to be in configuration, and it's not going to be this at all. That's going to use HTTPS. It's going to be locked down and all this jazz, so don't worry about it being on stream. Let's deal with the tags and the category, because really what I want to do is make it a little bit more usable. So if we were to compare the How to Code Well course, edges, node, let's get rid of the resource here. And then if we did attributes, you'll see that there is tutorials that's been added here. So what I want to do is I want to add a section called category to this. And I would do that like I've done through here, passing in tutorials. Tutorials at this point gets added here, course attribute tutorials, passing in the tutorials. So essentially what I need to do, if I was to create this point, resource, is it before the node? I think it is before the node content. Is it? Yeah, node content. It is. Yeah, definitely. Definitely it's in here. I need to fiddle about with it. So we do resource. If I did resource.category, let's say .name is equal to hello from JS, right? That's a dot, not a comma. Hit save, hit rebuild. Ooh, what's this? Problems name of cannot set property name of undefined. Oh, of course, that's not the way you do JavaScript, is it, Pete? Silly me. Flick the cat has come into the office. He is now behind the screen. So if the stream goes crazy, it's because he's pulled a wire. Trolling me. You can stay in here, Flick, as long as you don't mess around. So the desk, by the way, is in front of a windowsill. So he sits on the windowsill, and he kind of peers around the monitor. Okay, so that hopefully we should have added that in. So if we refresh, took this out, we don't need that. Go to edges, node, and then go into attributes. There should be one here called category that we've just added, and then hit name, press play, and we should have hello from JavaScript. So that needs to be the category that we pull out from the relationships. Same with the tags, yeah. So that would be tags, and we would have an array. Sorry, I've done that wrong, haven't I? Tags is equal to an array where we have tag name. Let's just make sure that that comes in all right. That looks good. Apart from there's a problem with other bits and pieces that I will deal with. I'll deal with later. So we now untick all those. We have attributes. In attributes, sorry, we have we don't. Node category, and we have tags. There we go. But really, it needs to be in attributes. If we're following convention. So, and I'm not overly happy about this, but let's just do it as is. Just to follow the way the course is set out at the moment. So I can change all this. Not a massive concern. Not right now. It will be when I'm about to push it live. So let's refresh this again. Okay, so there we go. Oh, no. So the reason why it's red is because they don't exist anymore. So let's just delete all of this and then go into all how to code well resource, edges, node, attributes. They should be in here now. So we've got tags. Reminder that I haven't changed. So tags name, we also should have a category name as well. And for argument's sake, we'll put in the name of the actual resource. So we got the tags, that's an array, that's good. We got the category as well, and then we have the name of the actual resource. Wonderful. So let's see if we can actually get the tags and the categories to be what I want them to be. So to do that, because if we had a look at the relationships, so if we come out of there, so node relationships, let's say category here, we only get the ID back. However, we do get the included thing back from the response. So if I scroll down here, where we got the response here, we were only pulling out the response.data, which marries up to response.data here. But the included bits are actually outside of that. So what I need to do is I need to create let categories is equal to an array, and we'll do categories first. We'll do one at a time, I think. One at a time. So fairly similar to how the tutorials work down here and the videos. And knowing that there's only one category per node, I could probably... No, we'll leave it like that. We'll leave it as an array because there could be potential. Okay, so we're going to grab this here. We're going to go into there. And we're going to go included.map. Now, included is this. So if item type is, and I believe this is categories, then we do categories.push, passing in the item. Same with the, well, we'll get rid of this, but this will be the tags. Okay. The next thing I do is I pass that in as a variable. What's up, Flick? You right? Flick's just like staring at a part of the floor, and I don't know why. It freaks me out. It freaks me out when cats do that. It's like they can see something that you can't. And then you start feeling very nervous that there's something in the room, even though the door's shut. There's someone behind you. If there's someone behind you, or if you see a spider on me, please let me know. So we pass in categories in there. So in the process resource, we also need to put in categories as this argument here. So now what we can do is we loop over the categories and we check whether the ID matches up with the ID of the relationship, and then we put that in as the attribute. It's a bit long-winded. Okay, so in this sense, what we do is we have course attributes, tutorials, and in this case we've done the same for, well, let's just copy all of that actually. So let's go to, I'm in the wrong folder. I'm in the wrong project. Not only the wrong folder, but the wrong project. So it's in here. So attribute category is going to be it is going to be a blank array to begin with. We're not going to worry about that for a second. So then we do, so that's that. We do known category. Is equal to resource.relationships.categories .data. Let me just double check whether that does marry up. We're in relationships category and then data. Now data is, because it's only one-to-many, it's not an array, it's an object. So known category rather than categories. Relationships category dot data. and then .id. So known category ID. So for each categories, we'll do it from this point of view. Categories.forEach, because I think what we've got here is we're adding that to there. Cool. Yeah, I love doing that. Screwing with the cat's head by getting them to chase shadows. Cute. So, categories.push, up we go. If it's just one-to-many, then do I need to put this in as an array? Yes, because there could be more than one resource here. At the moment we're dealing with books, but there could be more in the future. So yes, it does need to be an array. However, the relationship of per node only has one. Okay, so for each category, so that's all the categories that's passed through. Category. No, hang on a minute. Yeah, I'm going nuts. If category .id, I think that's right, category.id, or is it category.data ID? Category data ID, I think, .id is equal to known category ID. Then we do resource category is equal to category dot attributes. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe. Let's see. Let's get rid of all of this because we don't need that. Not yet. And that. Let's see. I'm going to run this and just see if this just catches fire. You know what I would really like for like an improvement to Gatsby is a way of turning on and off various different. Well, I suppose you would do it in code, right? But like, for example, I'm having to rebuild the site, and it rebuilds the site by pulling in the courses. Well, I don't want to do that because I'm focusing on the resources, not the courses. Do you know what I mean? So the bigger this is, the longer it's going to take to rebuild. I mean, it's super fast at the moment. Okay, this is where I have to do a lot of printing. So cannot read property of ID of undefined off of categories.forEach.category. So let's do a console.log or .debug of category first. You know, if for instance I was, and this is also pulling in Ghost, so it's Ghost and courses and resources. So there's quite a lot of things to go through just to get down to this point. It would be nice to have like in config somewhere to set these plugins as enabled or disabled. Like I said, you would probably just not include them. Okay, here we go. Categories. We've got the ID, so it's not data, it's just ID. Gotcha. Okay. Fine. Be like that. Not sure though, because that's the, unless we're missing a portion of code there. I'm hoping it does have attributes. Otherwise, I'm barking up the wrong tree. Something's happening. Something's happening. We'll check it with GraphQL in a mo, once it's built all of its stuff. All right, let's get rid of all that. How to code well resource. There we go. Let's do nodes attributes. We have category now. Let's open that up. We have the name. Oh, hello. So if that comes back as books, then we're winning. We've won. Sweet. All right. So if I get the name of the actual thing itself, that should be PHP in action. It's a book. It's a book. Sweet. Let's get the tags now. Yeah, attributes, category name. Here called tags, and we do we loop over the included, and we get the type is equal to tags, and we push the tags into there, and we pump tags up into here, and then we get tags out from there, and then what we do is we say, okay, we're gonna have category tags, but this time tags are gonna be an array, like that. Okay, so we now need to do let known tags, not ID, because we don't have the ID because there's multiple of them, is relationship tag. It's either tag or tags, I can't remember. Let me have a look at the relationship category tags, because there's more than one. Yes, that makes sense. Data, and we only go to the data because we have an array. Gotcha. Okay, so for each, we create another one of these. In fact, let's just put this down. Now, this does need a serious amount of refactoring. This is tags, by the way. Well, let's just, I tell you what, let's just tidy this up. Let's just do, yeah, it does need a serious amount of refactoring. But anyway, so we have known tags now. What we need to do is loop over the known tags, not the tags. For each as tag, we're going to do a debug of the tag just to for my sanity, and then here is tags. This is dot push, and then this will be tag dot attributes. I think. Tag. Known tags as it doesn't really matter, does it? So tag.id is equal to hang on. No, how am I going to get that? Looping through each, let me just see how I've done it on this one. With the tutorials, we're looping through all the known tutorials as known tutorial, and then we're mapping all of the tutorials.map. Where's tutorials on? The tutorials that get passed through. I see. Okay, yeah, of course. So known tutorials is tags. And then is there a map? let me put this back to split view again, because I can't. And then let's just bring that down so I've got something to play with here. And it's that one. So categories, okay, that's done. The categories are done. We're dealing with known tags, which is up here, which is the same as this one. For each tag, so let's set that as known tag just to keep convention. Known tag. Sorry about this a minute. Console.debug, known tag, console, where are we? Console, debug. That's fine. Known tag is then, oh yeah, then we do a map, there we go. So it's then tags, which we're passing through here, dot map, as tag, there we go. So this is known tag up there. And then this is dot, sorry, no, it's not. There we go. So now we've looped through it. We can then do we can do this up here. If tag.id is equal to known tag, there we go, known tag.id, then we do resource attributes, tags, push tags attribute. I'm hoping that's okay. Let's save that. Let's run this again, which is up here. It's not bad for like a 2-hour stream, building a Symfony API, dealing with the database, creating GraphQL. So that's all of those. There's the tags as well. Sweet. All right, let's see if what it's like in GraphQL. Again, we need to do a refresh of the thing. We should now have tags, which we do. If we hit name, oh, this is looking good. Let's hit that again. So we've got PHP tag name. Oh, hang on a minute, that's not right. Tag name. Hang on a minute. Have I? I've just overwritten what I've done. Do its thing. Come on. Come on. Okay, good. Do a shift refresh and then, okay, so we've got tags name. Hit that. Interesting. Yes, we do. So there, this is the first one, the book here. PHP in action, that is a book. It is PHP. Whereas this one is beginning PHP and MySQL is PHP and MySQL. And it's a book. Wonderful. Which means, of course, let's just do a proper end-to-end here. If I go to Resource API, if I go into the end data fixtures, let's create another one in Resource here. Let's create another one here. And let's use the actual site as something to go on. Python web scraping cookbook. Web scraping. Oh, I can't spell Python. Cookbook. Is that correct? Capital C. Fine, it's books, but this time it is Python. Okay, let's go to, I can't remember which one it was. It's not that, yeah, it is that one, isn't it? So let's do a bin oops, sorry, DB update. I'll drop the database, create the database, run the migrations, and then it will go through and populate the fixtures, which means now if I go over to here, rebuild Gatsby, gets the course, gets the ghost stuff, we can get rid of this debug. Good. Let's go over to GraphQL. Refresh again. Press play. Okay, so we got the PHP services, PHP in action, Python web scraping cookbook, Python. There we go. And then down here, I was going to say, where's the other one? Down here, PHP and MySQL. Cool. Get there in the end, eh? Get there in the end. Not bad for a 2-hour stream, I don't think. Is it 2 hours? 2 hours and 20 minutes we've gone for them. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the resource API, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the migrations, and then I'm going to drop the database, create the database, and then I'm going to run the migrations again, which will be one file. So we're going to go to, I'll tell you what, I'll do this through the console. It makes sense, doesn't it? Let's do the force drop. Oops. Let's do the create. Let's then do make migration. Now, I don't recommend you do this when it's in production. Definitely not. But for now, because I'm still developing it, it's okay just to put everything in one file for this whole database. I mean, obviously, if you're working with other devs, don't do this because you need to keep your migrations up to date. But for what I'm doing, this is okay. Okay, so then what we can do, let's just run the whole thing. So this will drop the database, create the database, run the migrations, which I've just created. So one migration executed, 7 queries updated. Then it does the purge of the database, goes through the fixtures, and there we go. Sweet. So what I can do now, so this is the new site. What I can do now is I can start working on this shop thing, which I'm going to rename to resources, and list out all the bits and pieces. But even though today is technically my day off from work, I do need to crack on and do other things. What I'm going to do, what I'm doing today actually, is a load of recording for Pact. I'm developing a course for Pact. It's actually, am I allowed to talk about it? It's a Python course. Sorry, I was having a look at my notes over there. It's a Python course. I won't give too much away, but it's a Python course, which is completely the opposite direction to what I've just been doing. It's not APIs. It's very interesting. It's super interesting. I've been working on it for a while, so I've got some recording to do with that today. And then this evening, I will probably build the pages for the resources in the front end. And then in the next stream, hopefully, I can show you what I've done, for this to work. There's a lot of resources here, that I will be adding to it. We'll get rid of these stupid ads. No. But I think progress is being made. So here we've got this is the course site itself. This is the courses that I've added. So this is running off of the course API, and it's been statically built in Gatsby. So that's good. We got pagination working. Like I said, I'm not a web designer, so it doesn't look particularly great at the moment. I'm going to be working through the alignment and everything, in one sort of hit, I think. And what I would like is to have this to be sort of the same level, and then have this as a scroll bar, so you can scroll through these rather than it will be listed down, because this one's actually quite a long course. Whereas other courses, like for instance this one here, I think only has 3 tutorials in. Also, look at my cheesy grin. Let's get away from that. There's 16 courses. I've only got 3 here because they are the only ones which actually have tutorials that I've added. So I will need to go through and add the other tutorials. So hopefully in the coming streams you'll see more courses being put to this. I've got 16 already, and they've got a whole bunch of tutorials. So I just need to add them through using that, a similar method with the arrays here, that kind of thing. Vatican has asked autoplay. That's an amazing idea. Why didn't I think of that? Let me see. Let me get that up onto... Let me just bring that down and log into my task list, Vatican, because I think I'm going to add that, because that's such a good idea. Secrets. Okay, there we go. This is the board. So autoplay is a great idea. I'm going to add it, but I'm not going to add it as an MVP. I don't think it needs to go out in the first initial release, but it's a really good idea. Because if you think about it, I haven't thought about user journeys much, but let's say, for example, you've got this course which has 15 tutorials in. That's quite a lot. If you click on here, right, you then have to click on play. Stop, don't play. So that's an extra click. So what you could do is have like a button that says enable autoplay, save that into local storage, and then pull that out every time you click next. So if autoplay is enabled, then you try and push, autoplay it. Tyranid has said some browsers make autoplay, some browsers mute autoplayed videos. Do they? Okay, I'll have to take that into consideration. I'll put this down as a task. So allow for autoplay. Allow for autoplay. Allow for tutorial. Allow tutorials. I can't speak. Allow tutorials to be autoplayed. And so let's add that, and I will put some notes down. So now this could either be a toggle or a button. So add a switch stroke button that sets that enables stroke disables autoplay. of tutorials. Really good idea. Really good idea. I'm going to set that to myself because I'm the only one working on this project. And I don't know why this can't be default. So it's not going to be the MVP. It's going to be definitely UI. I think that's okay. So it's not in the MVP, but it's certainly a... So yes and no, Tyrannid. It is for the free courses. It is. So we hit save. This isn't actually in a video tag. This is in an iframe because it's using the embed code from YouTube, which puts it in a iframe. However, with the non-free versions, and we haven't talked about what that means yet, it's going to come from another source. Flicky, don't screw up the carpet. It's going to come from another source which doesn't have ads. So there's going to be there's going to be two tiers. There's going to be a free tier where you can watch all of the previous all the videos that I've got on YouTube in the course format. You can watch them for free with obviously the normal YouTube ads. But if you are a paying customer, not only will you get, and this is not in the MVP, this is like later, you'll get the at least I don't think it is. You'll get the ability to buy premium courses and watch the previous courses without ads because it's coming from a different source. So I will need to consider autoplay with both things. So maybe autoplay will be done after I put through, because if you look at if I show you the stories, the user stories here. So users can change their subscription, user can change their email, user can log in, log out, subscribed users can see ad-free courses. Yeah. Users can purchase a one-off course if they want to. Users can see their previously watched courses in their members area. So, yeah. So, Vatican's asking, is it going to be a subscription service or a premium service? At the moment, I'm thinking of doing it as a Sorry, I got that wrong. Vatican's asking, are courses paid for on an individual basis or a subscription service? So, at the moment, I have courses that I've produced that are in, say, Udemy, and also in, say, Manning and Pact Publishing. I mean, I'm doing a course for Pact today. And now the Pact and the Manning ones will go off to Pact and Manning because I don't have control over the pricing or the whole checkout process, so that's going off. So that's like an external course. The courses that I've done for Udemy, which I'll never do any more Udemy courses because Udemy is dumpster fire. At the moment, hopefully it's going to get better. I've got them myself, those files, and they're on a separate video host, not YouTube because they're premium. And I will be pulling them down through a different API. And that will be done on a subscription base. So you will be able to subscribe. Not only you'll get all of the previous YouTube courses which are published not on YouTube but somewhere else which doesn't have adverts. So you'll be able to see all the ad-free content of the previous stuff, but you'll also be able to get all the new stuff, the premium stuff, which won't be on various places. I gotta watch what I say, man. I gotta watch what I say. They've just had a really bad reputation, and I have had my fingers burnt, not by Udemy, but I've had my fingers burnt before, where my courses have been put on various different file sharing sites, shall we say. So I want to try and, rein back a little bit of control. So yes, Pluralsight and other places like that, they're also really good places too. So the idea of not using just the YouTube API for all of this stuff, which is a way I could have gone, and I was considering it, was the fact that I want to be building my own platform, and that platform can then take courses from other platforms and have it as a central place. This is why this is called the portal. This is, that's the code name, portal, because it's a portal to things, the blog, the courses, the resources. However, the thing is, I am aware that there are people who have, from say a university background, who are lecturers, and they've used my courses in their lectures, which is fantastic. However, they have obviously been hit by all of the YouTube ads, and they don't always want all of the courses at once. So the subscription service the subscription model for them isn't actually going to work. They would just rather buy a single course. So that's the idea of having both the ability to do a subscription and buy a single course. However, we are talking completely way away from the MVP. The MVP at the moment, I'm trying to reduce it down to the point where it's just like on the first iteration of this going live, is just going to be free, and then we'll put in the user bits and pieces, because there's a lot of work involved to getting like users logging in, and especially through this static site thing, there's a lot of work involved. Having the user area, having the way for users to change their passwords, the whole GDPR aspect of all of this as well, that I'm yet to consider. so there's an awful lot. So I think the first MVP, the first release, will be just the free stuff, and then we'll start putting in the premium bits and pieces, I guess. Yeah. That's cool. Well, look, like I said, I don't have control over the pricing of the external courses that I've created. And I mean, someone asked me the other day on Discord. They said, look, I really want to get your course. It was Docker in Motion. However, they can't afford it. Not right now. So I sent them a code that I have, a discount code. And I do have the ear of the publishers. So, I have been known from time to time to say, look, can you send me some bits and pieces? Yeah. So Pluralsight and Skillsoft, and there's other ones as well. They are essentially like, well, they're not essentially. They are like portals to courses, because I know that my packed courses and my course from Manning, they also get distributed to other front ends. Much like, well, not much like, but kind of a similar idea to what I'm doing. I'm trying to rein back control. I'll still do packed courses, and I'll still do Manning courses, and there's been other companies that have got in touch. I'll still definitely do those, because that is, I mean, that's just a great way to get my courses out there, right? I'm a one-man band. They have a huge audience, so yeah, I thought they did. or they do their. I think they do their own stuff, but I think they can also bring in things from other places. I might be thinking of something completely different, but yeah, I might not. So I haven't dealt with any Pluralsight stuff, so that might be different. But there are certainly places that I am aware of that pull in. They have like partners, so they pull in different courses from different places, and then the obviously the content is distributed, shall we say, which is perfectly fine. You know, the contract you sign when you do these states that is acceptable. Okay. See, I'm not aware of the history of all of this stuff. Yeah. Train signal, that's another one that I haven't heard of. There's loads of them, isn't there? There's tons and tons and tons. Tons and tons and tons. I'm not out to be another one, by the way. I'm just out to have my own content in one place. I'm not looking at the moment. I'm not looking for other developers to come on board to make their courses. I don't want to take that on because that's a whole different ball game. So it's just my own stuff. And I know that there are a ton of places that can have these content management systems, and then you can just put your content out there and you basically get a skinned version of Udemy. But that wouldn't be that exciting on stream, would it? No, I want to try and have as much control as I possibly can on these things. Bit of a control freak when it comes to this stuff. And, you know, it's not just the courses, it's also the resources, and also the fact that eventually you'll be able to see me, you know, go live. So howtocodewell.net/live will have the Peteception going on. And what I would love to do is have this come back with sort of a, if it knows that I'm live, I would like it to, let's get off of that now. I would like it to come up with some sort of notification. That would be cool. Some sort of message that comes up that says Pete is now live. Click here. Anyway, we're talking too far ahead. I'm going to go and grab my breakfast, but thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining. It was awesome. I need to crack on and get my breakfast and then get on and do some recording for Pact. So I will speak to you all soon. Happy coding, everyone. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye-bye.